we got to get this shit out of our heads that excuses are going to be accepted by people who are successful, or by the world, or by the universe, right? No one gives a shit. I don't give a shit about my own excuses. Every time I come up with an excuse, which I sometimes do, then I'll immediately, as I'm saying the excuse, I will literally be feeling that it's not valid. It's not validated by me. The only people who they're validated by are other people who are sorrowful and who accept their own excuses. Every time I start to say something that isn't true, which an excuse isn't true, it's like, oh, well, I'm not performing to the best of my ability because this. Even up to, like, I'm sure even people that are running races, running as in on their two legs, with no legs, they're literally on stump legs with fake legs on. They don't even make excuses. People who are paralyzed from the neck down, or from the waist down, who are in wheelchairs and ride 26 miles or more and do races and shit, and they're not making excuses. People who show up early to work and do a great job at their work, they don't make excuses. They don't say like, oh, I got stuck in traffic. The people who say they got stuck in traffic and are late to work, or I had to take my daughter to work, or blah, blah, whatever the excuse is, you know that you could have got up earlier. You know that you could have got up 2 hours early instead of just one, prepared better, made it to work on time. You can do it. Everybody can fucking do it. There's no excuse. The only thing that you can say if your boss says, why are you late? The only thing you can realistically say is, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. That's it. I'm sorry for that. And hope that they forgive you and let you keep your job. That's it. Or start your own business and show up whenever the fuck you feel like showing up. But then you'd have to answer to yourself if you're not successful. Like, oh, why didn't I become successful? Well, because I didn't work hard enough. I didn't stay late enough. I didn't get up early enough. I didn't do this or that. Like, why aren't you running? Why aren't you in shape? That's the biggest question. Is why am I not getting any better? Well, let's dive deep into your program, your lifestyle, and see where you are making excuses for things. Okay, well, let's see your diet. All right, are you eating kale, broccoli, chickpeas, and dry chicken breasts every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, in order to lose the weight you want to lose? No, you're not. Okay, well, there's that. Not just the chicken breast. So I know some people are vegans out there and vegetarians and whatnot, but like, are you eating extremely healthy because you want to lose weight and get in shape? If not, then I'm sorry. Like, that's why. There's tons of excuses people make about why they're not in shape. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy like I used to. I'm getting older. Oh, my knee hurts. This and that. Well, like, hey, your knees hurt and your back hurts. Well, I'm sure the person that doesn't have two legs but runs on titanium legs, their fucking knees probably hurt too. And I just find it funny that people out there, everyone, I mean, I made excuses too, but I try to live my life in a way that reduces the amount of excuses. Just shut the fuck up if you have an excuse. That's it. If you have an excuse, like if you find yourself about to make an excuse or something, just stay silent, or if someone's asking you why you did something and you're about to make an excuse, I'm at fault. I did it. I made that decision. And now I'm being punished for it. I was late to work. Someone told you to be at work at 8 o'clock and you showed up at 8:01 or 8 o'clock. You weren't on time. The only person that is at fault is you. It wasn't the traffic. It wasn't the, line at school to drop your kid off at school. It wasn't any of those things. It was just you. And we all need to own up to those things in order to be successful, in order to be productive members of society and achieve the things we want to achieve. we first have to take responsibility. You know, if you're having a bad relationship with your spouse, is it really them? Is it he or she, or is it you? You know, like, maybe you have to change some aspect of your life in order to make things better. You know, if you and your spouse are having a hard time, maybe it's because you guys drink too much. Maybe it's because you go out and party too much. Maybe it's because this, that, and the other. Maybe it's a bunch of different things that you can try to change before you call it quits and get divorced or whatever. I mean, I'm just talking about marriage at this point, but it could be applied to anything. You can't call it quits until you've tried every single thing that you could possibly try to change and stick with it, and try to stick with it for months on end before you come to the conclusion that it's not going to work. You know, a lot of people out there are like, oh, well, I'm come from a body type, a family genetics where my body type doesn't allow for, you know, me to be thin. That's not a fucking excuse. It's not. It's you haven't tried to overcome all obstacles yet. Try to overcome your habits. Try to improve your diet. Try different forms of eating. I'm not for specific diets like, you know, vegetarian, vegan, paleo. I'm not about that type of shit. But like, you haven't tried all options, and that's my thing. Is you have to dive deep into the research and the practice of deliberate trying of different food varieties and exercise intensities and frequencies. If you haven't tried everything, which none of us have, we're all out here just trying to experiment, but there's so many different options you can do. Maybe you haven't found the right type of exercise that you like doing to inspire you to lose the weight that you want to lose. Like, you know, have you tried cycling yet? Have you tried surfing yet? Have you tried, you know, yoga yet? Have you tried running yet? Have you tried CrossFit yet? Have you tried all these different options yet before you call it quits? And most people haven't even scratched the surface of what they could possibly do to improve their lifestyle. But they would rather just make the excuses. They would rather just be like, well, I don't have the time. I don't have this. No, what you really don't have is the desire and the energy to do it. And that's okay. If you want to not do those things, if you want to not enjoy the benefits of being in shape, then don't do it. You know, don't even start the journey, because it's too fucking hard. It's going to be way too hard for you if you can't muster up the courage to get up earlier, make it to the gym, then go to work, and then work a full day. And then maybe if you want to be in extremely good shape, go to the gym after work and do a 2-a-day. If that's too much for you, then unfortunately, you have to make peace with the fact that you're not going to have that six-pack. You're not going to be that super ripped Instagram person that you wish you could be if you can't do the small things. If you can't do the little things right, like make it to an hour workout in the morning before work, and then be productive at work and do a good job and support your family and everything, and live the whole life. You can't live a double life. You can't be like, you know, in shape, like fucking abs, everything, fucking yoked, and crazy good. You can't be a master and then on the weekends be out fucking clubbing and partying and whatnot. You're gonna see that you're not a master. You're actually a phony. And there's probably people out there that are like, oh man, that's not true. You can do both things, but I've found it that you can't. You actually cannot do both things. You have to be all in on one thing, and you have to be all in on a good diet. You have to be all in on a solid training program. You have to be all in on a certain lifestyle. And if you're not in on that lifestyle, then unfortunately, there are some anomalies out there. You know, there are some people out there who just like perform great and still do drugs and alcohol and stuff, and that's all fine and good. But there's a very small amount of people who can find that balance, and you don't even want to try that anyways. It's not fun. It's not exciting, and unfortunately, you're going to struggle to try and balance that. But making the excuses is not a thing that we want to get into. And the minute that you start to rely on, you know, the worst feeling in the world to me is when I make an excuse and everyone around me just like agrees with me, you know, and I know it was an excuse, and then everyone else just kind of was like, yeah, I understand. And how haven't we all been there, you know, where you make an excuse and all your friends around you are just like, yeah, I get that. You know, it's like they disagree with you. Instead of saying, man, fuck that shit. You're not making that excuse around me. Like, don't ever say that shit again. Like, get to work. You can do better. Do better, you know? And those are the kind of friends you want to have around. I try to be that friend to people that I surround myself with. And because of that, I really only surround myself with the real ones. The real people out there who are open-minded enough to, like, when someone calls them out on an excuse, they're just like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to do better. And those are the absolute people that you want to associate yourself with. I want my friends to call me out and say, hey, bro, do better. I don't want to see you living this dumbass lifestyle anymore. Do better. And that's it. Stop making excuses and do better. That's it. I got nothing else. I'm out.